Jake, I have been thinking.
Why?
I don't know, man. It never leads to good places for me. But
Yeah,
I was
same.
thinking, I think I need a sidekick. That was, I had that thought the other day. And then I was kind of like, you're sort of my sidekick.
We already had this
Right?
conversation. Yeah.
Oh, did we? Fuck.
Yeah, we did.
Shit. Okay, then I'll reshuffle to a different cold open. I've been writing all the cold opens down so that I can remember them. Okay, Jake.
You're just writing down these shitty cold opens that you come up
Yes.
with?
Yes,
Are
I
you
am.
serious? And you almost repeated one that I think I cut out, actually, so you probably could have done again. But I know that you've already done it, so it's just appalling. Okay.
right.
What is your other cold open, Charlie?
I was thinking about road trip stories, right? Because we write a lot of road trip stories.
Mm-hmm. And I was
thinking
just
about
on a
it.
road trip. So, yeah.
Yeah, you were. And I was just on a road.
Oh.
And I tripped. And that was fun.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
It's
trip.
fine.
Stay on your feet.
Trotted some dog shit. It's all good.
Okay.
But I was thinking, and I think the Odyssey may be the oldest road trip story. I was trying to figure out an older one, and the only one that came to my mind was Journey to the West, but that's from the 16th century. I Googled it. So I just think it's interesting that the Odyssey is the oldest road trip story, so maybe we should do something with that. Maybe we should turn that into a TV show somehow. I don't know how.
Let's see, maybe a movie. And we can get Christopher Nolan to direct, maybe, and then we could star Tom Holland and Matt Damon and basically every other celebrity on the planet.
Yeah. And the Punisher. Oh, do you want to see? I have another cold open, but
No, I
it
think you should
doesn't
just
make
start the
any
show.
sense. Okay, fair enough. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am
under some
swell,
water.
Charles, besides your tongue twister that you just did there. And I am excited because we're back with the podcast. We pitch new TV shows every single week. New worlds, characters, and thrilling stories all packaged into these little exciting TV shows and films that we come up
do.
with. And as always, Charlie is there to interrupt me, the hero of our time. Actually,
Yes.
speaking of the hero of our time, we have Imbecilic, a hero of time, which is the title you gave me last week. I had to come up with a pitch, a TV show from that title, and I have Charlie.
Great.
Yeah, very excited.
I've been using the word imbecilic a lot recently, just in my day-to-day. And I realized that that's like it would be like a cool, like Conan-style name.
Ooh,
At first, my thought was just the word imbecilic. But then I realized that that's not a ton to build a story off of. It's just one word that means kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So I wrote it as Imbecilic, a hero. And that was like, that's not enough either. Imbecilic, a hero of time. Or the hero of time. I can't remember which. That was a title I was happy with, and I hope that there will be a story that I'm also happy with.
Well, I think you will like this somewhat. I probably took this in a way you didn't think it was going to go, so we'll see what you think. We start off with a character. Her name's Imbens, Imbens. She's a 17-year-old girl. She's very nerdy, very Peter Parker-like, very shy, very into history and politics. She's our protagonist, if you weren't getting that. We'll get into the other characters after we get a bit into the show. But she's at school, barely paying attention in math classes. She stares blankly at her history notes. She shuffles out of class, sits with others at lunch, but it's clear she hardly talks or knows anybody, and it's just sort of making little small talk as she mostly eats in silence. And on the TVs in the cafeteria, the news is playing, and many of the kids watch as superheroes of the world are fighting an alien invasion in New York. But she kind of just ignores it. You know, this happens like every week. When you live in a superhero universe, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of mundane. Like, oh, the aliens are attacking again. Okay, woo.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if you live somewhere like New York, you're like a little freaked out about it. But you know, if you're living somewhere else, it's like, okay, this is like upstate New York, so you know they're not really near the action.
Oh yeah, okay. They're all right. They're the rich kids. They got more cows than people up there in upstate New York.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say the rich kids in upstate New York. There's a lot of poverty there.
Yeah,
but anyway, so she ignores it, and she's not really interested in superheroes. And on her walk back from school, she's listening to a history podcast, and they're talking about medieval history, the 100 Years' War between France and England. And she's walking through a rural field, dreaming about being in a medieval world and knights and all that kind of stuff. And as she does, she hears a massive explosion, and she turns to see the nearby nuclear power plant is under attack as part of the alien invasion, Charlie. So,
oh, no.
What does she do, seeing this massive explosion in this dangerous scenario? She ignores it and keeps walking.
As she should.
And,
good girl.
We see superheroes flying over, rushing to fight the invaders and stop the power plant from, exploding and causing, Chernobyl 2 from happening.
Yeah.
And as this is happening, one of the heroes grabs her to bring her to safety, and she's really annoyed. Like, she's just, like, sort of hidden and be like, no, just let me walk home. I don't want to be... This is so annoying. Yeah. And she gets dropped off on a nearby rooftop, a safe distance away. But there's no ladder down. She can't get down. She's just stuck on the roof, really annoyed. She just wants to go home and watch TV and, have dinner and stuff. And her parents are going to get worried and all that kind of stuff.
Play with her dog or something.
Yeah. So she starts trying to climb down the side of the building. And as she does, she sees that there's some alien invaders inside the building. And she's looking around, and there's no heroes. And, her lack of concern before is now a slight concern, because she sees them, like, sneaking around.
Yeah.
Inside this laboratory that's inside the building. And she kind of, like, puts it together and thinks that, the power plant must be some sort of diversion, and they're actually sending people to this lab. And so she sneaks in, and she listens to the invaders talk about their plan to steal some human technology to complete their dimensional hopping device. So the aliens are from another dimension, and they've come to Earth and are trying to steal this technology and bring it back to their world so that they can change their dimension hopping machine into, like, a time machine as well, so they can go back in their own timeline and give their pre-industrial selves massive all this cool technology, so they can advance technologically much faster, so they give themselves a jump start in the past, so then in the future, which is right now for them, they would be even more advanced than they are now and would easily crush the humans and all the superheroes and everything, right?
All right, not a bad plan. As far as evil villain plans that involve space aliens go, it's better than Loki's in the Avengers.
Yeah.
That one wasn't a great plan.
I don't really remember what Loki's plan was in the Avengers.
Nobody does. It's because he didn't have a good plan. He just wanted to kill his dad or his brother or whatever. And he had some aliens help him somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. So a superhero, as she's listening to this, jumps in and starts fighting the aliens, just as they're about to complete their machine. And in Imbens, she tries to get away, but the machine, when it gets turned on in the middle of the fight, and it has, like, this black hole effect, which sucks her and two of the invaders in. And just as she, like, is flying through the portal, we get, like, this slow-mo shot of the superhero destroying the machine, because he's trying to save her before she goes in. But she gets sucked in, and the machine's destroyed. Boom, everything goes to black. She wakes up in a field, a nice wheat field, looking up in the sky. Feels like the field that she was just in when she was walking. Yeah. Maybe it was all a dream. But she gets up and she sees the two injured alien invaders laying in the field with her. And they sort of groggily get up and try to grab her. But a group of horsemen arrive, and it costs the invaders, yelling at them for attacking a young girl. And the invaders are trying to explain that they're from the future. But one of these people, one of these horsemen, Charlie, they're all dressed in knightly armor. He pulls off his helmet. He looks just like the red alien invaders, but he is a knight. Sir Sharney, his name is, and he ignores them and says that they're going to be punished for attacking this young girl and not respecting the chivalric ways of this time period and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of the great nation of whatever.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Sir Sharney, Charlie, he's not just anyone. I'm going to explain to you who his character is. He's the greatest knight in the kingdom, a true emblem of chivalry, very kind and nice. Very sweet and always trying to do the right thing.
Good for him. Nice things to be.
So him and the other knights grab the two future invaders and tie him up. And then they look at the girl and they're confused because of her appearance. She's doesn't look like the rest of them. Everyone else is kind of like these red humanoid alien people, and she's very much a human looking like us. So they're kind of confused, but not so confused. They're like, well, surely she's been cursed or some way affected by magic. So they're like, we're going to help you find a cure. And she's like, no, I'm actually from another world. These guys brought me here by accident. And they're like, nah, that's not true. I think the magic probably affected your memory or something like that when you were cursed.
You poor, horribly disfigured fool.
Surely something is wrong. So Sir Sharni tasks the other knights with taking the criminals to the castle to be executed, while he offers to take her to a local village where there's a wise wizard who might be able to cure her. And she tries to explain that she doesn't need to be cured, but he's very insistent, and he's also very charming and kind, and she was just dreaming about knights and chivalry and all that kind of stuff. So she's like, I'll just go along with you. And he starts telling her about the world because he thinks her memories was destroyed. So it's like this medieval kingdom, and he tells her about the recent calamity in the kingdom because basically the king has two kids, Princess Pontus and the Black Prince. Princess Pontus is the leader of she's the new leader of the kingdom after her father was slain, and she desires revenge against her brother, and wants to restore the kingdom to its former glory. She's very headstrong and determined, but a fair ruler. And the Black Prince, her brother, is the unloved second child of the old king. He became a tourney knight at a young age so that he could get the love from the crowd, the love that he never got from his father.
Yeah.
And he quickly earned his name, the Black Prince, because of his black armor. And he was very good at, tourneys and stuff. He's always winning. Mm-hmm. And he challenged, at one tournament in like the capital, he, out of anger, he challenged his father to a tilt and accidentally killed him or accidentally or on purpose, who knows, killed him in the tilt. And he fled the scene with some of his retainers and is now staging a coup for the throne. And he has the backing of a dark wizard named Mance of Thrace as well. So the two sides, Princess Pontus and the Black Prince, who's got a evil wizard on his side as well.
Yeah. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Are the names puns? Because they sound like they might be puns, but they might not be puns.
No,
they're not puns.
They're just names.
And is this a patriarchal society? Like... Or is it egalitarian? Like, is it unique that the oldest sibling is a woman and she's in charge, or is it just like whatever?
It's just
we don't care.
It's a equal whatever it's called system.
Isn't it?
Whoever's born first gets the throne. So the daughter, she was born first, so she gets the throne. I can't remember the name for it. I know it's agnatic, cognatic for if. The boy inherits first, but the girls can still inherit. I don't really remember how it works. But anyway, so the Sir Sharni is going to take her to a nearby wizard to try to get her memory back and see if he can fix her appearance. And the other knights are taking the criminals to get executed. So, and he's telling her all about the kingdom and the recent calamity and blah, blah, blah. And they arrive at the town and they meet the wizard who has just been turned into a tortoise.
Oh, no.
So they just walk into the hut and they see a tortoise. And it takes them a while to realize that the tortoise is the wizard. First they're like, oh, this tortoise has the wizard's hat on. This is very strange. And he's like, shit. He's turned himself into a tortoise. So they have to go on a quest. After much watching a tortoise walk around, they eventually realize that the tortoise is telling them to go to a nearby cave to get some cave water that will apparently cure him of being a tortoise.
Untortoisify him.
Mm-hmm. And so they go on a quest to a nearby cave where they to find this cave water, and they fight a 3-headed werewolf. But just as it's about to kill Imbens, its teeth seal around her arm, and she screams, and the wolf just keeps biting, and she's screaming, but then she realizes that she's not actually in pain, and she looks down, and its teeth aren't able to actually break through her skin.
Ooh, that's cool.
And in that moment, as it's
she's like Luke Cage?
We'll see.
Fuck yeah.
So its teeth are not able to break her skin, and she's confused. The wolf is confused, and Sir Sharni kills the beast by chopping its head off. And they sort of have to pry its teeth off, or all 3 heads in one foul swoop. I'm imagining all 3 heads are biting onto different, her arms and her legs or something that. And he just cuts off all 3 at the same time, and then they have to pry open the teeth on each one. But there's no marks on any of her.
Yeah, I assumed the heads were taking turns trying to bite. That was my thought. That you get one, like, chomp down, and then she screams, and then we hear a second chomp, and then a third chomp, and then she opens her eyes, and she sees that all three of the wolves, like, teeth, all three of their mouths, all the teeth have, like, crumbled and cracked and are falling out of their mouth, and the wolf just looks up, like, really defeated, and then Charney slices the head off. But, you know, your monkeys. My
monkeys, okay. That works too. I don't really care, to be honest. But just that the skin doesn't break. So Sir Charney kills the beast. They get out of the cave. They're both kind of surprised that she's alive. She can't really explain it. And he's like, it must be a side effect of the magic, I guess. I don't know. So they arrive at the hut and give the cave water to the tortoise, who can now talk, but he's still a tortoise. End of episode 1.
That's not... I mean, it's an improvement.
It is.
I'd rather be a talking tortoise than a tortoise, but, you know.
Yeah.
Wonder how our characters are gonna get out of this crazy problem. I bet you'll let me know.
So, Charlie, Toro is an enchanted tortoise with the ability to speak. He's very sarcastic, witty, and can sometimes do magic because he's actually a wizard who was transformed into a Taurus. So Toro is the name of the wizard. That's his character description. You've got it now. In episode 2, we get this from him, and he examines Imbens and tells her that she's actually not one of them, which she knows, obviously, and her physique is not quite understood in this dimension. So she might have abilities or other strange things. And she's like, what? You mean like I have superpowers? And he's like, I mean, like, or, explosive diarrhea, or a combustible heart, or invulnerable skin. It could be any of those.
You might be magnetic. We don't fucking know anything about you.
So he agrees to help her to figure out, what's going on and stuff like that. And he doesn't really seem very upset about being a tortoise as well. They're offering to, like, help him restore himself, but he says that it's not really too bad. It's going to lengthen my lifespan, and it was a consequence of a vitality spell I was working on. So I think I'm just going to ride this out and just be a tortoise
see
now.
how long this lasts.
I can still talk, and I can do magic, and I was an old man before, so I couldn't really do much anyway. So I'm probably walking about the same speed now.
Yeah. It wasn't like I was, having ragers and getting laid, all right? I was an old dude who lived in my house alone. So this really doesn't change very much for me.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, Sir Charney offers to take her to see the princess and see if the princess knows anything, and maybe if she does actually have powers, she can help them to defeat the Black Prince, because the Black Prince has an evil wizard on his side, so, they kind of need all the help they can get. And the three set off on a journey where they cross a great gorge and are attacked by bandits, where Imbens' invulnerability comes into play again. But her being invulnerable is kind of really pointless because she's, like, so crap in a fight. Like, she doesn't really know what to do. So after they defeat the bandits, her mainly just being like a human shield, and Sir Charney, actually dispatching the bandits.
Yeah, of course.
Sir Charney offers to train her. So we get her sort of becoming a good fighter and almost a knight by the end of this season. And where, Charlie, is this going? So, of course, they're going to defeat the Black Prince, and they're going to save the kingdom, and that's all season 1, right?
Yeah.
And by the end of season 1, we're going to realize that she's not just invulnerable, she also has super strength, and she can fly. In the last episode, when she's fighting the Black Prince and the wizard, she's gonna fly, and that's gonna be a big moment. People are gonna be like, "Oh my god, she can fly!" So she's essentially this she's like Superman, basically.
Yeah, from an alien
and that's what
world,
we realized
crash
at the end of
lands in a
season 1.
field.
Yeah,
same shit.
Same, exactly. Except, Charlie, season 2 is a bit of a flash forward because now it's modern day. She's not only invulnerable and can fly and has super strength. She's also immortal in this dimension. Sure, her body doesn't age like everyone else does. And so she's going to be, in season 2, it's modern times now. So, like, 1,000 years after the events of season 1. And she maybe looks a year older. So she was 17, now she's like 18. And she's living in an apartment in a big city. And she's basically like this city's superhero now. She's like Superman of this city. And she
that's cool.
has her alter ego where she's like Clark Kent, essentially, except she works at a taco restaurant.
Yeah, and also she's the only human. Everybody else is bright fucking red.
Well, she has, like Clark Kent, she wears glasses, and the glasses make her look like she is one of them. And the reason that she has this magical glasses is because when we get back to the apartment, she has a pet tortoise, which is Toro.
I was gonna ask, is Toro still around? He better be.
Toro's still alive.
We're gonna sell so many plushies of this guy.
So yeah, Toro's still kicking. He's like her guy in the chair. He can communicate with her telepathically and just sort of hangs out in the apartment all day while she does superhero stuff. I didn't really write too much about season 2, but she'll have some big villain and Toro will get captured and then, blah, 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 blah. And her identity will get revealed to the world and she'll have to go underground for a while.
Maybe the Black Knight shows up again, or the Black Prince or whatever. Like, he's resurrected by some, like, evil thing. An evil group, and they're like, oh no, your great enemy, the Black Prince, is back, and he's gonna fucking stab you again. She's like, I'm still invulnerable. What?
Yeah, can't be beaten.
And you just kick him in the nuts.
When I say she's invulnerable like if you've seen the show Invincible on Amazon Prime, they can still get like bloody. They can still get beaten up and they can get hurt, but she is basically invincible. She can't really get hurt too much, but like other superheroes can do some damage to her. But she's still the top dog when it comes to the superheroes. Yeah,
she's like Homelander, right? Like you can hurt Homelander, it just takes a while, or you gotta stick a straw in his ear.
So that's her situation, and by the end of in season 3, we're gonna go even farther into the future, and now she's the space explorer. Exploring the stars, and now she doesn't need to hide her humanoid presence. So in the modern world, in the past, it was people thought, you're probably just cursed, so we're not going to be bothered. In the modern world, she needed to hide it because people, were more knowledgeable, knew there wasn't magic, and they're afraid of aliens, so she needed to hide her identity. And in the future, no one cares because they're all hanging out with aliens anyway. And now she's exploring space with Toro as her. So Toro at this point is dead, but is now like kind of like a magic spirit or like a force ghost, and he kind of acts as like her. And like in sci-fi they have like a spacesuit or a ship's AI. He's basically that, except it's a magic spirit. So it's like her ship is not like a spaceship like that runs on science. It runs on magic. So it's like this magic floating.
I'm always a big fan of whenever you get magic in space,
Yeah. So she'll go on lots of cool space adventures. I'm debating on how the show should end. Do you think she should go back to the real world, or maybe at least have a choice to go back to the real world?
I think
and
she
chooses
should
not to. Because by this point she gets to, because she can't time travel back like she did before. But she gets to a point in season 3. She gets to a point in this world's existence where she would go back to about the time she was in when she left. So she might be like, back when she was in high school. And now she's still about the same age in terms of like her physically. She's like 19 or 20 now. And she was 17 then. So it's like, wouldn't be that crazy for her to go back. And she's got her family and stuff that miss her, but she is now like mentally like 3,000 years old. So that is something
I would say maybe she goes back to, I think maybe we changed the beginning of the show just a little bit, beginning of season 1, and there's one giant like Cthulhu, like sort of eldritch god that has all of these alien helpers, and they're invading the planet Earth. And then the ending of season 3 is revealing that she went back in time and is attempting and back to her dimension, and she's trying to take over the world, but also setting off the chain of events that lead to the events of the show, I guess. So it's like an Ouroboros.
And she'll realize, like, in the moment that she caused the invasion of Earth, and then she'll have to stop the invasion on her side of the rift, preventing Earth from getting destroyed. That could be cool, yeah. And that could be pretty neat. And then and it's like a sacrifice that she makes, and she can't go back to Earth, but she saved them.
Yeah,
that could be cool.
And she's cool. I like that.
That's a fun show. What so Imbecilic? No one
I was assuming
named...
that would be her superhero name.
Okay, all right, cool. I kept waiting. I was
her name is Imbens.
Yeah.
So it was like close enough, you know? And I was like, because so I assumed her superhero name would be Imbecilic. I was assuming like she would try to use her name and then somebody would hear it wrong and it would call her Imbecilic. And that would be it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just too stupid to connect those dots. But I like that show a lot. That's fun. Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, thank you everyone for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles Long. With me has always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat, and remember, we'll be here next week with a brand new television series for you to imagine and enjoy. And what will the title of that series be, Jacob? Let the people know.
I don't remember. What did
Really?
I tell you it was? Yeah, what was it?
Vino Vince.
Oh, okay. You did not pronounce that correctly. It's Italian. I said Vino Vince, which means... Do you want me to tell you what it means or not?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
It means wine wins.
Okay. Well, this...
I didn't want you to know what it means before you wrote your thing.
Yeah.
But it means wine wins. I'm excited to see what you wrote for wine wins.
I am too, because I'm more excited to see what your reaction is, because I went fully into the Vino Vince. Well, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it in the next episode.
I like giving Charlie titles in Italian because he doesn't know what they mean, and especially when I text him the title beforehand, and he doesn't have me in the podcast explaining to him what it means. Then he has no idea.
I had no.
I guess you could have
clue.
looked it up. That would have been fine, but.
Nah, I had more fun with it being like Vino Vince.
Vino Vince. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what you did. And everyone else, you can find out what Vino Vince is, or Vino Vince is, on the next episode of the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. But for now, we will see you next time.
Goodbye.